Assalamu alaikum. Walaikum salam. All right, let me stop. Afternoon, guys. It's your boy Malcolm, or I guess under my new persona, Meham Al Muhammad. Anyway, this is the first episode to my new podcast, Black Conspiracy TV. If you're tuning in, some of you might have noticed the link that I put down doesn't go to my usual YouTube channel. I have changed that over to a new page. Let me go ahead. Let me go ahead and pull that up real quick. I wore the whole get up just, something fun to do. Yeah, switch it up sometimes. It gets boring. Just hmm, let me switch. Hmm. Damn, I gotta. Yeah, they changed some of my stuff around. One second, folks. I gotta. Hmm, yeah, I don't have to find it. Hmm. Hmm. One second, folks. I'm having some difficulties. Hmm. 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 I'm having some difficulties here. One second, folks. I don't know what's going on my page today. Just earlier, I had all my stuff signed in. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Yeah, I'm having an issue with this. Mhm. Mhm. All right, I'm back in. Let me go ahead and pull this stuff up. Mm, mm. All right. All right. It should be set and all ready to go. Count. All right, back to YouTube. All right, put my down. Put it down. It's getting hot. Yeah, man, you just be masked up all day. I just right here in this little crust is so warm from just me breathing. It's a whole nother type of it's a whole nother type of situation. I swear. It's a whole nother type of situation. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Your screen. Experience to be boom. As you guys can see over here is the page. See if I can move. I got my little background up too. You can follow the links in the middle of Malcolm. That's to my old YouTube page. I'm still going to be posting content there too. So at this point now, I got like 3 YouTube channels that I'm going to be posting content for. So just stay posted, subscribe to either one of them. There's going to be content coming. Just stay posted. So let me change up. Okay, yeah, I like this layout better. So yeah, Black Conspiracy TV. You can go ahead and go there now, and just click on the link, join the live. Go ahead and copy, paste some of this stuff right here. Invite. paid some bills real quick and took care of that. Hmm. All right, everything's uploaded, everything's posted. Okay. I apologize for the wait. I was supposed to have a lot more of this set up already, but unfortunately, all right, go ahead and pin all that stuff up. All right, so there's the page. I've dropped links on my main Facebook page. I'll probably drop a link in the Twitter later on today or tonight to be specific. But yeah, oh, Shadow, everybody, it's my cat Shadow. He's yeah. Let me let you down, buddy. But yeah, if you see me look away or just get completely distracted from the camera or what I'm doing, my cat's in here with me. He normally just rubs on my leg or something for attention, but some days, like, I don't know why. Lately, he's bless you, bless you, bless you, little boy. Mhm. Apologize about that. My cat was sneezing pretty hard. You okay, Shadow? I had to mute the mic for a second. When you start sneezing, the sound reverberates and it hits the mic, and I'm trying to speak. And basically, I just don't want to have to sit here and pause for like 5 seconds while he does his little sneeze fits and stuff. But yeah. So, how's everyone doing out there tonight? I didn't really have any particular topics off the top of my head. I really just wanted to get this out for the sake of content. But as I'm basically just scrolling through social media as we talk right now, looking at different stuff. And I'm gonna say this has pretty much been all over my feed all day long. This whole Cardi B and Offset situation. I don't particularly know neither one of them personally, but I think this is like one of those celebrity things that people need to back away from. Like, let me see. Let me see. Pull it up on TMZ. Damn, let me make sure this is safe to. All right. Oh, bam, there we go. Yeah. Cardi B and Offset fight over new cheating accusations as divorce turns ugly. Yeah, folks, it's pretty much as bad as it can be. I don't really have much to speak on because I'm not a celebrity, nor am I going to try and make sense of the lives of these celebrities because Lord knows they be getting into all questionable stuff. And what in the pop up blocker was that Timu? Yeah, that was probably some Timu shit. Anyone else just been getting spammed with all the Timu shit they can think of? I know my brother was really big into it and he was kept telling me about it. But now it's like I cannot scroll. I cannot watch a video. I can't do anything without some damn ad from Timu popping up. And before Temu, y'all know what it was. It was Wish. Like, I've heard so many horror stories about stuff that's been ordered on Wish. It's like, why do people order stuff from Wish? I know it may be cheaper. I know it may seem like a fair price, but is it really worth it? Same thing with Temu. Like, well, I don't exit out of the pop up, but same thing with Temu. I see ad after ad for this stuff, and as cheap as it looks, I just don't want to waste my time or money just going through a whole nother shopping app that's trying to take my money. You know, when I worked for Amazon, I noticed very quickly people will swipe and click their way straight through into credit card debt. Me personally, I had to deal with that myself, where I had to curb my spending because I just go on my phone. I said, "Oh, next thing you know, I got like 5 packages showing up to the house, and it gets to us all." Like, I remember one point, my dad had to say, "Hey, son, I think you need to slow down with the shopping. I'm tired of seeing Amazon, man," because the Amazon guy was literally showing up Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then like once on Sunday or Saturday. Like, the packages stayed coming in. It was it got out of hand. But also, I had roommates at the time too, so it wasn't just my packages either. But I digress. Yeah, this whole Offset and Cardi B situation. Personally, it's sad to see people get divorced. I'm not going to say I didn't see this coming. We all know, I guess Offset has a reputation for sleeping around. Prior to the whole relationship with Cardi B, he was already known for like having one or two baby mamas. And, you know, I'm not condoning any of his actions. I don't condone cheating. I don't condone infidelity. If you're going to get married, be faithful, hold it down. So I can applaud Cardi for the most part, because outside of maybe this little, fiasco here, I really ain't never heard anything about her doing something to Offset or her doing anything particular to spite him. So mm, I'll, they both got to hold L's. Yeah, I know all the women who sided with Cardi might feel some type of way about that statement, but they both got to hold the L on this. In Cardi's case, like, listen, you done been through this before. This ain't the first time y'all done made the headlines with, scandal and scandalous behavior. So, she got to take that L as far as mate selection and choosing to be with someone that is just toxic. Like, their relationship is toxic. When they're in public, it's cute, but all the stuff that comes out, behind the scenes, it's just toxic and very just, mm, just dysfunctional relationship vibes, in my opinion. But yeah, they both got to take an L. I mean, Offset can be upset all he wants, but listen, dude, if you're out here cheating, at some point, karma's gonna circle back right around to you. And I mean, this was just karma being karma and doing her thing. Um, I know some women feel some type of way about the whole sex while pregnant thing. I can't judge. I can't tell nobody what to do with their body. I understand there are people in relationships who engage in such activities with their partners during pregnancy, and that's between them. That's between the two parties. As far as this, I mean, it was clearly something she did, if she did it, because let's be real, people will say whatever just to make you angry and to elicit a reaction from you. So you get angry. But, if she did or didn't, that's her business. I have no heaven or hell to put her in. I'm just Malcolm. But this actually segues into something I've been thinking about over the past couple of days. And I mean, some of you at home, you can, check this for yourself, do your own research. But have any of you noticed a concern, a concentrated, a concentrated effort by social media, Hollywood, the public media. Shoot, we got social media, public media, Hollywood, and anything in between. We got people on. I can't talk because I'm on YouTube myself talking. But if you ever stop to think, like, what do people gain by pitting men and women against each other? What do we gain by pitting men and women against each other? You know? Let me let that sit in. Okay. Whew. Sorry about that, folks. My girl's watching a show. I don't want to try and be too loud and talk over the show. Also, I don't want some of the sound from her watching the show come into the computer room. No, like I don't have a big house. I don't have my room soundproof. So there are moments like when because I have a projector in my room that I watch TV on. So when the projector, goes off, the volume is particularly loud. It's a noticeable loudness. So like you could be in the front room playing something and I can walk all the way to, well, not this room. I have another room over here where I play my video games. This is like my computer slash office room slash studio room because I got my mic and all that stuff in the closet. Yeah, I can hear it all the way from the front room to the very back of the house, depending on what volume setting you have. And you do not have to have it up loud. I usually keep my volume set around like 35, maybe 40 at the most if I want like that loud, like full theater experience. But no, like I'd rather not have all the sound coming in through the house. Normally, when I do these podcasts, I either wait till she's laying down in bed or she's, I'd say, sequestered away doing something to occupy her time. But right now she's watching a show, and those are interested. She's watching Dexter. Like she's been binge watching that show for a couple weeks now, and honestly, I just gave up. I've tried to keep up with some of the stuff, and just I come home from work and she's already on a whole new season. It's like, damn, I can't even keep up with what's going on. One day I got up, Dexter was, being Dexter, doing his thing. I came home, we're in a whole nother season, and he's got a baby. Like, it's crazy. Let me go ahead and this. Go ahead, get your water, get you something to drink. Go ahead. Let me go ahead and see what we got here. So far, I got no comments, no nothing. Awesome. I'm gonna stay on top of that this time. That way I don't have to worry about it. Oh, oh, I hate when that happens. If anyone ever got Scooby snacked or had a little piece of weed hit you, it always catches you off guard. Always catches you off guard. So let's see. Mm. Uh, yeah, man. That's for those of you who don't know. I just got home like an hour and a half ago. I was just working at the meat market earlier. I cannot stress it enough. The first blunt when you get off work, is heaven. As soon as you can just recline, get in your chair, be like, best feeling in the world, especially after a long ass day at work, especially after a long ass day. But back to what I was saying. Yeah. Have you guys thought about it? What do we gain by pitting men and women against each other? Because outside of this Cardi B and Offset situation, I know there's going to be a couple more content creators on YouTube that come through, make videos, and they'll probably have better budgets for their videos. Right now, I'm just a guy talking in this room. But I find it particularly interesting because this has been a grift or a talking point that people have been spouting for years now, since before 2020. They were talking about, oh, men and women are not the same, the gender wars. Mm, gender war. Yeah. I was going to say I had an article here, but they want you to sign up for something. And no, I'm not going to sign up for that. Out of here with that shut. Oh, by the way, any of the links to any of the newspapers and websites that I put in the description, no, you don't have to sign up automatically. You get like a couple free articles a month to read. If you want to subscribe and fully support the article newspapers or those news outlets, you're free to do so as you please. But yeah, I try to avoid any type of website or news site where I have to automatically sign up. I get it, you have to pay your reporters. I get it, you have to pay your staff. But the cost of news, especially in a digital age where the internet is just everywhere, doesn't make sense to pay for news. Yeah. I mean, that's not exactly what I wanted y'all to think about, but that's something else to think about. Is it really worth paying $15.99 a month for a newspaper subscription? Yeah. But back to this. So I believe these disagreements between the male and female gender are spurred on by government, social media influencers, and ourselves unknowingly. Because I've never thought about it, but I carry a lot of stereotypical biases when it comes to men and women. Like when I'm scrolling through social media and I gotta hear like, well, I won't even say here because it's social media you read. I got to see like 5 or 6 posts from women talking about, oh, these men ain't shit. Oh, where's my white man? My pasta, was it pasta and lobster? God, I need, and if anyone can name that song, please drop the name of that song. I heard the bar. I got a white boy on my roster, be feeding me pasta and lobster, whatever. Hell, I've seen like TikTok snippets with the song in it, but I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. That is the most basic ass bar ever. Like, I'm sorry, like, bro, just go get a seafood Alfredo. It's less than $30. You pull up on, yeah, guys. To all the men watching this, we going to all the black men specifically. To all the black men specifically, we gonna find that song, whatever it is. I'll probably have someone mention it to me later. The pasta and lobster song. Ladies, if you in here watching, please someone comment. Tell me what is the name of the song. But anyway, yeah, to the guys out there, just go ahead, get your seafood Alfredo or make one. It's not that hard. They usually got a seafood mix at Walmart or Publix. It's like $20 or less right there. sometimes less than $10, depending on how much seafood you want to pile into it. But anyway, go ahead and cook you up an Alfredo, drop the seafood in there. They usually have it pre cooked or pre seasoned and already cooked, blah, blah, blah. And just whip it up one time. Pull up on your girl, play that song, the pasta and lobster. I got a white boy on my roster. He be feeding me pasta and lobster. Now, I mean, you black, so it's going to be weird, but that's the whole joke. Just pull up on her, playing that song with the seafood Alfredo, and just watch how no one in social media will get the joke. But as soon as that song comes back into popularity again, they'll think and be like, oh, that's why niggas were pulling up with seafood Alfredos and all that shit. Yeah. Because in truth, that's really not a big flex. Like, if you work a half decent job and you got a car, well, just going up to the store, going up to the market, get you some seafood, some noodles, fettuccine noodles, and some Alfredo sauce. Whip it up. The meal will cost less than $50, which is funny because if you actually take her to a restaurant to get the, I guess, pasta and lobster, you're going to spend a lot more. But if you just go to the store, cook it yourself, you save like $20. For anyone says, Malcolm, it's $20, really? $20 goes a lot of ways. Me personally, I drive a V8. For me, $20 is like barely a quarter of my tank. I be walking in the gas station, let me get 20 on pump, whatever. I go back, start pumping my gas. I finish, I crank up. Gas go from here to like here. And I'm like, damn, $20, they ain't barely giving me a quarter tank. I think when I fill up, I'm around like $110, $115 altogether on a fill up. But yeah, go and get you some seafood mix or some lobster from Publix, Walmart, whip up some Alfredo sauce and noodles. Just pull up on her with the pasta and lobster. Maybe we'll have less women mad at men and less people making posts about us. But while I'm talking about the women, I gotta get on you guys first. Like, some of y'all, I feel like y'all need to go outside and just touch some grass. You know, yeah, the grass outside. Go ahead, get some fresh air, breathe in, breathe out, touch the grass. Take your shoes off, take your socks off, let the grass touch your feet, and then just let that shit go, bro. Some of y'all be too hurt about these women and the stuff they be saying. I mean, in my younger years, I used to, have my little, I would call them intellectual debates, but in retrospect, it was just me spinning the wheel, the hamster wheel at that. Because in some cases, you can't argue with someone and you can't change their view morally if they stand strong on that view. Now, you can present new information to them and they may consider it. Like, one of the things I hear a lot from like women is that for like for every dollar a man makes, a woman makes like 70 cents, 80 cents. And hold on, let me actually see if I can pull that up. Let's see if I can pull that up. Mm, 5%. All right. So, okay, my audio should be good to go. All right. Okay, some audio should be working. I'm gonna go ahead and mute all for a second while I play the video, just so I don't get any feedback. But here's just a quick snippet. I'll play it for you guys.
Out there surrounding the 70-ish% figure. Take the TV show Rick and Morty.
Then this one is not your slave, and your Earth is yet another planet dominated by men.
It's not dominated by us, okay? On Earth, men and women are equals.
Equals? We make 70% of your salary for the same job.
This is actually untrue, since that figure is not adjusted for the type of job and other variables that may differ between men and women.
Sorry, I had to unmute myself. For y'all that couldn't hear, I kept the closed captioning on so you could probably read along. But the gist of it is this. They showed a clip of Rick and Morty. Rick was saying, hey, on Earth, they got captured by some alien warrior Amazonian chicks. Rick's like, hey, look, men don't dominate the Earth. We are pretty much equal with women on Earth. The girl was like, no, you don't. We make like 70% of the same salary. And, you know, as Boy just said, that does not, shout out to, what's the name of the channel? Unlearning Economics. Sorry, it's right there in front of me. Shout out to Unlearning Economics for coming through and sharing that with us. But basically, the gist of it is there are certain factors that we can never vary. There are a number of factors and variables that stop us from properly calculating how much a man and a woman makes versus each other due to certain career fields where there is little to no representation of women, and also due to career fields where there is little to no representation of men. You know, outside, let me see, like if you go into a hospital, there's a good chance the nurse is going to be a female. Just there's a good chance. And I have heard like male nurses maybe get paid like $1 more or something like that. But I mean, let's be real. If you're going to be the dude on, the dude on the floor or whatever like that, you're probably going to get called on to do more of the heavy lifting. You're probably going to be required to deal or handle with some of the more physically like aggressive or violent patients, depending on, what's the setup. Because I'd rather not see some small 20-something-year-old nurse try to calm down a 200-plus pound schizophrenic man or something like that. It's a situation no one wants to be in. So as far as that goes, and some women might hate me for this, give them $1. Like, yeah, bro, if you know you're gonna do more heavy lifting off the rip, if every nurse within the same floor as you is going to call you over to do something involve lifting or manual labor that she does not want to do, yeah, give that man the extra $1. Shoot. Miss Retha weigh 500 pounds. Shoot, he gonna get in there and at least lift 200 of it. Now the other 300, the female nurse is gonna have to split. But, yeah, pay that man an extra $1. If he's going to have to do more of the heavy lifting and strenuous work with patients, give him $1. Make him feel good for it. Because, yeah, I totally understand it. If you, like, sometimes I wish I renegotiated with my pay. Like, I'm happy with what I get paid at my job, but I have both jobs. I'm happy with what I get paid. But sometimes I look at them and I'm like, man, can I get a little bit more money? Dude, I mean, I can't reveal too much, but I'd be at my job, brushing shoulders with engineers, and they talking to me about, oh, we got these parts coming in, can you make them, and blah blah blah. I'm like, I'm Maxilla, baby. I got it. I'm Malcolm. Of course I'm gonna make them. I'm a fabricator. That's confidence 100% all the way. But sometimes I be looking at them like, y'all got a junior engineer position open with some increased pay. I could apply. And I don't have an engineering degree, and that probably might stop me from certain things. But hell, like, you can go online right now, pick you up an engineering book, and if you specialize, I'm gonna say, if you specialize in a particular field of engineering, you can get ahead in certain areas without necessarily having all of the the paper behind you, like the degree. But even if you don't have a mechanical engineering degree, if you can design a part using like Fusion 360 or Radan, any type of CAM or CAD software, if you can weld or physically turn a bolt or drill a hole, if you can design, draw, build, implement, and bring a finished product to market, essentially you are an engineer. I mean, I know nowadays we got so much paperwork and tape in between. You got to apply to a certain institution, pass an exam, and then I think you got to pay some money or whatever, and boom, you're now officially considered an engineer. Even if you which is weird to me, because if you do your 4 years and you get your bachelor's, okay, I consider you like a junior engineer. Boom. That's simple entry level, something I can foresee. A senior, engineer, that's someone that either has a master's or a doctorate. They they extended their education. But yeah, sometimes I'll be in there like, damn, I wonder if I can get an extra 50 cents or $1 real quick. I mean, I got to talk to engineers. I got to, come up with these parts they ask me to, make. And I'll say this to anyone that is not, that does not have a trade or does not have a particular skill, learn one now. Learn it now. I wish I had learned most of this stuff later not later, but earlier, when I was like 18, 19 years old, fresh into college. I so wish I would have taken welding. I would be years ahead right now. I probably would have had that engineering degree, because I mean, it's not something I necessarily want or need, because I mean, nowadays you don't need a degree. They just want to know if you can do the job and can you do it well. But yeah, if I had I could say engineering is in the STEM field. So I can't say I don't need it, because the STEM fields are hot right now. If you got the right STEM degree, you getting a job. I'm not even gonna lie to you. But what I'm saying overall is I wish I would have went back and started welding and doing all this fabrication stuff at 18, especially when my back was a lot stronger. I done had back surgery, and I'm almost 30 years old now. So I have missed out a lot of good young years of a healthy back that would have come in handy. Because now I do spend a lot of time standing, and sometimes I'm hunched over a little bit, just looking at blueprints over and over, trying to get certain bend radiuses, dimensions, and bend angles proper, because one bend may call for a 90 degree, the other one a 45, depending on what type of part it is. You might have a 2D drawing to work off of, or a 3D drawing, 3D image. And that's when you get into your isometric drawings and all that fancy stuff. But and actually, yeah, that leads me into that leads me back to what I was saying about there are just certain fields where men are overly represented and women don't really show up. And then there are fields where men are rarely represented because we don't show up in them at all because they're dominated by women. Like with the example with the nurse, if you go into the hospital, you're mostly going to see female nurses. The female to male nurse ratio is going to be noticeable. Where I work as a fabricator,
we have maybe like 3, 4, and the fourth one is questionable because she's into women and she done got this low haircut, and I'm gonna just say she's giving off major stud vibes. Major stud vibes. I don't have nothing against the LGBTQ plus HD TV community. All I know is the fourth one, I don't technically always count as like a regular woman. I count her as like one of the dudes because I mean, shit, you got the fresh cut, you watch the sports like in some ways, we accept studs just like, what's that? Yeah, like that one cousin you have that's a little feminine or whatever because he been raised around his mom too much or whatever. Like with studs, you kind of accept them into the herd as like semi dudes, even though they're not fully dudes. But I'm rambling. Back to what I was saying. So like where I work, there's maybe like 3 women that are in the warehouse or in the facility working alongside us. And it's never like alongside us in a like, okay, this guy's over here welding, she's on the shear chopping. So no, we had like one female welder there a couple months ago. She lasted maybe like a couple months, 2 months, and she went off to do her own thing. And I'm happy for people find their way and they're doing their own thing. But yeah, like when she came and gone, there was not another female coming in. The last 2, 3 people I've seen apply into the job were all male. And as I was saying earlier, the females that do work there don't work alongside us, their office. They come in like, hey, these parts are due. They got schedules and, I want to say IOUs, but I try not to give too much company policy and paperwork stuff away. I try to, because there's there's contracts I signed, and I try to obligate those contracts, try to oblige by those contractual obligations. But what's I going to get to? Yeah, they work in the office. So they come in, they handle the paperwork, they tell us what's on order, what's coming up, what do we need to build, and building schedules or work orders for stuff that we need to make. It's I won't say it's easy because I've never sat at the desk, so I don't know how many orders or how much paperwork they got to shift through, read through, emails, office meetings. Because like I said, I rub shoulders with engineers and I talk with them, and they tell me about the little office meetings and the times that they just sitting at the desk on some type of webcam meeting. And I won't lie to you guys, I hate that type of stuff. I do not want to be in no office sitting down with you guys while we're listening, watching a PowerPoint. I'm probably going to fall asleep. And yes, it's happened to me at least 3 times on the job. Yes, not this very same job. I only fell asleep once, but I fell asleep. I couldn't even fight it. We were watching a PowerPoint. The person presenting they were doing a good job getting over the facts, but it's just me. I cannot sit in any place for an extended period of time without getting sleepy. So I ended up falling asleep. And come to think about it, that was another. Wait, so are we still? No, I think we're still at 3. Sorry, sidetracked there for a second. The woman that was given the presentation is technically the 3rd one, but she left. But we also got another woman that came in. She's like the new, the replacement. So I was going to say we're not at 3, we're at 2, but no, we're technically still at 3 because the replacement's there. But oh man. I get a sip of water, folks. My mouth was dry. I was rambling on for a second there. So
Like if you're a social scientist worth your salt, you never do a univariate analysis. Like you say, well, women in aggregate are paid less than men. Okay, well, then we break it down by age, we break it down by occupation, we break it down by interest, we break it.
Show Rick and Morty.
Then this one is not
Yeah.
your slave, and your Earth is yet another planet dominated by men.
It's not dominated by us, okay? On Earth, men and women are equals.
Equals? We make 70% of your salary for the same job.
This is actually
So, like dude was saying in Vito, that's actually untrue. And as I was stating earlier, this is due to the fact there are certain factors and variables that we can't really calculate properly because we don't have equal representation across all jobs. Now, with that aside, let's all acknowledge something. Yes, women did have a handicap of the sexes. Coming into the 20th and 21st century, women were lagging behind us in terms of, job placement. Because, until I think World War II, most women didn't work. Most women just stayed in the house, raised the kids, lived a soft life, as people have been trying to advertise on social media and all this stuff. And yeah, that leads into a story I have, but man, that leads into a story. Man, I got a million stories now that I think about it. This, by the way, if anyone's watching or streaming, I dropped the links on my page. If you want to go ahead and join the stream, while we're on the topic of the gender wars, if you have anything to say about it, speak now or forever hold your peace. It's not a wedding, but, speak on it, as they would say. But anyway, I digress. So that's my stance on the particular whole, thing on the gender wars. There are certain things that are unfair, and for both genders, I will say this, for both men and women, there are certain things unfair. But for the most part, it's not as bad as the media and all these YouTube dating coaches or life coaches try to make it seem. Because I've looked into some of this stuff, and first off, I hate salesmen. Like, I understand we got to sell stuff. Like, anyone, you catch me at my second job, I'll be selling. I'll tell someone quick, hey, we got this special sausage, $3.99 a pound. Because for some reason, we just got sausage on sale all the time, and it's like no one buying it, even though it's technically on sale. If you buy it in the actual packs, like the big blocks or big packages of the sausage, the Sunset or the Georgia smoked sausages and stuff like that, mild and hot, if you actually just buy them from us per pound, you save money. But if you just buy the whole pack, you pay more, basically, because you're paying a bulk price. Anyway, so I know how it feels to be a salesman. I try to, tell people what stuff we have on sale, if it's, a deal or not. And, I just be at work trying to, get it sold. So I can respect the hustle of it. But what I don't like coming from a lot of the YouTube dating coaches or life coaches is they always try to portray the opposite gender in a particular light that isn't always flattering. And yes, there are certain things about each gender that are unique, but also not unique and just fundamental in how we exist. Like, as I was saying earlier, when I'd be seeing women post about these dudes that are bums and stuff like that, that is truly something that isn't supported by the male, the stereotypical, male ideology. In the Bible, they tell you if a man doesn't work, he doesn't eat. So, I can't, Yeah, and I tell my homies that all the time, and they tell me that all the time. Like, and that's how you know you really got a good circle around you. If if you out of work and your homies like, hey, yo, this job over here hiring, go ahead, apply, check them out, see what's up. And even if they do or don't get the job, it's the idea of, hey, I thought about you. So I'm like, yo, go ahead and try to see if you can get in this position here, get your paper up. That is ideally, how men should interact with one another. We shouldn't be in as much competition or rivalry with each other. Now, friendly rivalries are good as long as they don't turn violent. The violent ones are the worst. But, like just that example with the guys that are not working and stuff like that, because that's becoming a more and more issue. And I mean, I'm not saying women are wrong for speaking on it. I'm just saying the way we look at it versus how we speak about it needs to be examined. Because, on a psychological level, what's going on here? Because I don't know if y'all noticed, the younger generations are becoming less disenfranchised, less entrepreneurial, less handy overall. Now, I have my own stories too. I wish, again, if I would have took automotive classes in high school, I would be a certified technician right now. And I would never have to worry about a bill or going to the mechanic because I could just fix it myself. But that's, choices. And I think that's what we need to understand, like with the whole Cardi B and Offset thing. The choices of these individuals lead to an outcome that we are now forced to just have to look at all the time whenever you go scroll down your feed. Go ahead and sip some more water real quick. Right. To those tuning in, go ahead and check out burp for a second there. For those just tuning in, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Check out the links to the pages. If you want to join in for the stream, I posted a link. If you got any comments or anything to say on the current topic at hand, we're basically talking about the gender wars. The whole, Cardi B and Offset situation really just brought me to that mindset that this whole gender wars thing that's been going on for the past couple of years is something the media, Hollywood, and a lot of other people are just pushing on us, either for the sake of profit or drama or sensationalization or whatever, just trying to make headlines, but it's not normal. Like what I was saying earlier about, like a lot of people don't notice, but the amount of prime aged men, like the men 21 to 35, or I think 25 to 35, but within that age range. So I'll say from 21 to 35. We have a larger number of men within that age group just not participating in the workforce. And this number is increasing over the years as we go on age by age. Let's see. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this up in a second. And take closed captioning off too. All right. And share my screen. Damn, made it to the first hour. All right. Okay. I'm going to play some of this video and we'll get back to the topic at hand. One second, folks. I really need to get the little mixer shit here set up on my table when I get a chance. All right, here we go.
Men have been steadily dropping out of the workforce, especially men aged 25 to 54, who are often considered to be in their prime working years.
Okay, so I guess I was wrong about the prime years. I wouldn't consider that far into age prime. Like for me, like I said, 21 to 35, I consider that the prime years. Like those 15 years are usually going to be your best in terms of physical strength, endurance, overall energy. Because a lot of people don't realize this. Our testosterone levels cap at a certain age and taper off slowly from then on. And in some guys, it's not a slow taper, it's a drastic taper, depending on eating habits, lifestyle habits, and other things like that. But yeah, like there are certain things that are just wrong with the current environment because, and I feel like this has led to, you know, some of the things within the whole gender wars dialogue, because the women have a point. There are noticeable damn, I turned British for a second. Y'all excuse me for that horrible noticeable. Nah, that wasn't. Damn, I can't do it. Oh well. But there is a, you know, the ladies have a point. There is a noticeable amount of men that aren't working to the point where it kind of makes me feel weird when I get complimented for some of the most basic stuff nowadays. And so I would say like a month ago, I was at Wawa's and I held the door for an old lady. And her daughter was with her. Her daughter was like younger. I'd say the mom was like in her 80s, 70s. The daughter was like in her 50s, 40s. And the daughter was like, thanks, you don't see that anymore. And I'm like, really? Because again, I work at a store for my second job. So I'm used to like people, like when they see me walking up to the store, they hold the door for me. If they have a chance to, they will hold it for me. Or anyone else for that matter, really. It's not even a me thing. It's just, I feel like people have gotten out of touch in a way where like we're not holding doors open for people, even though we should. Video watching is coming through from CNBC, but let's get back to the video.
As of August 2024, 13.7% of prime age men were not working, compared to just 7.2% in 1954.
Damn. Let me see where the. Okay, the source comes from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. So I am skeptical of government data. Again, the name of the channel is Black Conspiracy TV. So we're going to take some of this data with a grain of salt because they may have skewed certain things, you know, due to the fact that back then in the 50s, there was still like racial segregation and stuff. So certain groups may not have been thoroughly interviewed or accounted for. But to say that we've essentially damn near doubled in the percentage of men not working is a very telling thing. And I think some of us can see it with the younger generation nowadays. Like these kids don't want to go to school. I have a nephew, like he has like this after school program thing he goes to, and they actually pay him, I think, to go. Like I'll have to ask him again, but I think they're literally paying, I don't know how much. So I can't share all that information, but yeah, they literally will pay kids to go to after school programs. And and it's really nothing but a funnel. See, like certain classes at the college automatically lead into jobs. If Does that make sense? Like when I took the CNC course at the college, I knew once I finished the course, there was already a position or, a specific job that needed to be done that I could use this skill for. So like now, I didn't go all the way like for like a year or more, but the course was a couple weeks. Basically, think of it as like one of those coding boot camps, because there's actually code with CNC machining. I basically went into a like 5 week, 6 week coding and coding and operating program where you learned how CNCs basically work and function. I learned on a CNC mill, which is different than a CNC lathe or a CNC laser, but the fundamentals carry over in a lot of the areas. When you get to the specific brand or manufacturer of said CNC device, you'll get into the particulars of said device and the software they use it. But as soon as we finished the pretty much course, there was already like companies we could go out and apply for. Like the teacher already had like 1 or 2 companies he could name off the top of his head that needed CNC people. And, if he liked you, he'd say, hey, go ahead and apply. You can use me as a reference. And, I have a cousin that works over at Moss Solar, and they're doing a lot. I mean, we ain't got the best weather year round because hurricane season, but Florida is becoming a major player in the solar game. I mean, I think we can also be a player in the hydroelectric too, but that's, I'll make that for another video. I'm getting distracted. But, as the data shows, the people aren't working. And some people would say, hey, that's because the government isn't offering us opportunities and there's not a genuine interest in the people. I'm telling you now, that is not true. For certain areas and underpoverished, I understand certain things. Not all resources can be spread equally to everyone within the community. You will always have the haves and the have-nots. This will always be constant. There's no way we can effectively deal with that without some type of dictatorship being enacted or some type of tyrannical rule being instituted. Because think about it. Imagine what it would require to feed everyone, house everyone, and provide clothes for everyone. Now, technically, we could do it, but if we could do it, we would have done it by now. And I know that's not the smartest answer to give, but think about it. All the world, scientists from around the world can sit down across each other and they can agree or disagree, but the basic fundamentals of math, science, transcend any moral or personal opinion on a particular topic, such as ending world hunger. We waste, like thousands upon thousands of food waste every year. And I'm not saying we're going to feed the poor our scraps, but just think about it. The amount of food we waste every year itself would take a dent out of the amount of people that are starving. But even so, it wouldn't completely fill the problem because the population is still growing. Boom, another variable. And I know I'm rambling on, so I'll wrap it up. But basically what I'm saying to this is, yes, the amount of men not working has increased. But to that, I'm going to say this. There's a spirit of laziness and less entrepreneurial mindsets, less hardworking, rigid morals. Like me, I personally come from a family who are Bahamian. My family came here, my parents and stuff came here way back in the day, and they worked hard to provide for themselves and their family. So in a way, these morals and certain standards are ingrained into you via culture. And I can say this with a heavy heart because I've never really thought about it, but the American people, the youth themselves, are being weighed down by this heavy spirit, because the opportunities are there, but what do these kids really want? I sit and I ask my nephews and my nieces, I ask them what you want to be. And from the older to the younger, they all tell me I don't know. Let me get on and continue. Bless you, Shadow. I kept sneezing.
The long-term decline in labor force participation by so-called prime age men is a tremendous worry for our society, for our economy, and probably also for our political system.
There's a surplus of prime age workers who could be working and aren't, and that's this puzzling problem.
The unemployment rate for prime age working men sat at 3.4% in August 2024. This number primarily includes those who are unemployed and looking for a job. But about 10.5% of men in their prime working years, or roughly 6.8 million men nationwide, are neither working nor looking for employment, compared to just 2.5% in 1954.
What's surprising?
Damn. Shit. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm on YouTube and Twitch. I'm gonna try to cut back on the cursing. I have been trying to curse less. For Black Conspiracy TV, I want to try and not curse at all. So excuse me for that. Part of the reason why, when I later reformat this on just like pure, I'm going to try and get some of this stuff uploaded on Spotify. I want to try and keep it clean for the most part, so I can try to get put on certain pages. That's the thing. If you curse a lot, if you can't really be family friendly, they will, keep you off certain pages, and just the algorithm will shit on you. Just did it again. You know what? Let me just stray away from it. Now, to what I was about to say with this, I was not aware of how much this increased. Before, the statistics just seemed like, we had a double in the amount of people that weren't working. Well, it's men that weren't entering into the labor force. Let me speak properly. But this kind of reveals a little bit more of it. Because it's one thing to look for a job, but to not look is where, that really tells you your personality. That's when you just sitting on the couch all day, blowing on that pack, playing video games. And I'm not knocking people that do that. I do that when I get off work. But it's after I get off work. You gotta you gotta have some drive to you. The world isn't just gonna be your oyster forever. But let's continue on here. Yeah, this was a noticeable leap. Basically, more than 10% of the population are already saying, hey, we don't want jobs. And I will guarantee you, within the next decade, this number will increase. I don't know why, though. I would say this too. What I was saying earlier, the spirit of laziness that dwells within the youth, as well as just no sense of direction really nowadays, because on the parental side, they may be trying to work hard and provide all they can, but from the child of the younger person, it may it may more be an issue of what do I want to be and what do I really want to do with the rest of my life? Because, me personally, as a reformed hippie, reincarnated at least 3 times, sometimes I don't know where I'm going. I feel like the Cottonmouth King sometimes. I don't know where I'm going, but I know where I've been. And, from these experiences, I try to piece things together and make, choices going towards the future. But yeah, that's 10% of the milk just lost. They don't know what they want to do with themselves. They know they don't want to work, and they ain't contributing nothing to the tax dollars.
Surprising is it's not a COVID phenomenon. It's not a recession phenomenon.
And for every prime age man who is unemployed and looking for a job, there are more than 3, and some years 4, who are neither working nor looking for work.
So what's driving men out of the workforce? And if left unchecked, what impact will it have on the US economy?
All right, I'll pause it right there. I'm not going to sit here and play the whole video, but I'm going to leave it right there for now. Go ahead. Check. Okay, no comments. Good. I want to make sure I try to be as engaging as possible, but I definitely need to upgrade my setup. My second monitor over here is nice, but it doesn't have the best resolution. It's like a 7080p monitor. My desktop says it has up to 4K resolution, but it's really more like a 1080p when I look at it, in my opinion. All right, everything's good. All right, that's who we are.
Nearly half of prime age men out of the workforce cited obsolete skills, lack of education and training, poor work record, or security issues as a reason preventing them from work.
Education is a very important predictor of a prime age man's odds of being out of the labor force.
The big impacts are on the non-college educated groups on their ability to enter and stay in the labor market.
Men who are not college educated leave the workforce at higher rates than men who are. At the same
Eesh. Let me say that's about, it says 88%. Say 88%.
time, fewer younger men have been enrolling in college over the past decade.
If you look at the geography of where the most prime age men out of the labor force are in particular, they tend to be in places that have experienced manufacturing declines. They used to graduate with a high school education and have good, stable jobs. They weren't glamorous jobs. They were, automobile factories, sometimes mines, other manufacturing jobs, but they were respected, they were stable, and they could support a family. Since then, due to technology-driven growth, a little bit due to Chinese competition, you've had a lot of manufacturing firms and the places where they were located that were one-horse towns become ghost lands, right?
Wage
Well, listening, she said something very major, because another point that has been brought up in these gender wars, outside of men just being broke and, you know, us not having anything, the fact is, it is no longer it is no longer the norm for a man to work and pay all the bills and, you know, pay whatever the woman needs and pay, like, the days of the sole breadwinner household are so gone. So gone. If you actually believe it. And here's the thing. Yes, for those select few lucky women, yes, it is out there. There is totally a guy with a nice house. He's, you know, got a job, he's got a car, and he will genuinely love and care for you and marry you. But for the rest of us, well, I'll say the rest of the women, no, you will not ideally get that. You'll get a man that takes care of you and looks out for you, but, you know, he may not have it all together like the guy that's a millionaire / billionaire, whatever people are chasing nowadays in the title category. And that's something becoming more and more realized between both men and women, because, you know, ideally men like that stuff too. You know, it gives us a sense of pride. Be like, yeah, you know, I'm the breadwinner. I bring home the bacon. She fries it. You know, it's, I know it's stereotypical machismo. Some people may call it misogynist, but it does bring a man a sense of pride to say that. Now, also, it does, you know, come with strings, because, like, you know, if you do all that for a woman, you'll be less accepting of, you know, her being a total bitch to you, a pain to you all the time. Damn, I cursed again. I gotta stop cursing. And same thing with the guy. Like, I know so many women that have been in relationships with abusive men that I'm like, where do you find them? Where? Like DA Anonymous? Anonymous? But damn, this time looked like it was lit. Like before the manufacturing jobs and the warehouses and all that went away, it looked like it was lit. Yeah, that's. No, while she's mentioning it too, shoot, the loss of some of these jobs and big and well-paying jobs at that, along with the interference of Chinese competition, it's becoming harder and harder to be a sole provider / you know, maintainer of a household, because the prices of everything around you are going up a lot more drastically. I was just watching the news 2 days ago. They were saying the price of goods for like the CPI, Consumer Price Index, they said that was up roughly 12-13%. But in other extreme cases, these percentages would shoot up to 55 to damn near 68% on some days. And that isn't normal when you think about it. Kind of makes me feel like somebody's either manipulating something in the market. Well, I'll stop. We'll save that for another video. But yeah, like, this is something in itself. This town that's slowly rotting away, this is part of the gender wars right here. This is American jobs being taken away and people being less sufficient. Because when you have people lose jobs, it's harder. It's just harder. If you don't believe me, go watch the episode of Good Times and just look at how stressed James was every time he lost a job. And now that I think about it, he always lost his job around the time the rent was due. So either his boss was a complete asshole or he just was, slacking off at work and he got rid of him. But some guys will do that. They'll pull up blasting loud music and all that just to show off that, yeah, I'm just dropping off my uniform. I'm out. Peace. And, that's how it be. Back to this. Go ahead and take off my cuff yet. There's always that one dread stuck behind your ear. Always that one dread stuck behind your ear. But yeah, this impacts part of that. This is the losing of American jobs. People are becoming less sufficient with less jobs. And we can say that, oh, we can build back better, like with Joe Biden, but that's another point that comes into this video, but you'll see it in time. But yeah, we are totally not in a place where we can provide solely as men by ourselves. And if we do, it's usually under the most rigorous. Hey, baby. Oh, I thought it was a girl. It was Shadow. No, that's just. Come here, Shadow. Oh, sorry. Shadow in the building. Grr. Let me put you down. Yeah, he busted in the room on me. Sometimes when I'm here by myself, he'll just bust in on me just to see what I'm doing. But let's continue on with the video.
Wages could also be a contributing factor. Median annual wages for men with a high school diploma have fallen from just over $57,600 in 1973 to $45,000 in 2023, adjusted for inflation. At the same time, wages for those with a bachelor's degree or more have increased by about $6,300 during the same period.
Okay. Now, I'm going to pause it right here just to say this, because ladies, this is something y'all been. I'm gonna keep it neutral. I'm gonna say this: laziness has taken over the youth. It does keep us from pursuing a lot of these opportunities out there, because it is out there. If you're 17 right now and you decide, hey, by 25, I want to have a trade, I want to have a house, I want to have a truck, do it now, bro. Just as soon as you graduate, go to the school, go, take the trade program, get out of there, get your first job or two, gain the experience, put in the hours. Within about 3 to 4 years outside of the program, you will damn near be ready to either start a business or have a product idea you might want to bring to market or create for yourself, or just anything. I knew somebody that came up with a brake tool. You know how you decompress the brake caliper when you're sliding it back on place after you replace the pads. It was that, essentially, that little piece of flat stock that you would twist on it's basically got a nut welded onto the back of it with another basically threaded piece coming through to push it in and basically push forward or retract. And this is how you would decompress using the spring. I'm not going to go into a video, but I'll in the middle of Malcolm podcast, I'll probably have a few people join me for like a car talk episode. We'll just talk about cars and stuff like that. But back to what I was saying, that yeah, ladies, I know a lot of y'all want the whole 6-figure man, house, car. But if you make $77,000 and has a place and has a car, and I think that should be acceptable. And I'm not gay. No Diddy. No homo. But because I know there are some chicks, they're like, no, you got to be making 100 grand or more. Now, if you live in New York, California, or geez, any one of those expensive, like I call them colony states up there, Virginia, Massachusetts, blah, blah, blah. If it's, someplace like that or California where prices are just ridiculously high, no. I'm sorry, bro. You actually got to make 100,000. You got to make over 100,000 to live comfortably in New York. Now, I mean, you can, it, and it goes back to what I was saying earlier. Y'all can go 50-50 and it works. If y'all have that agreement between partner, you and the woman, and y'all come together and say, okay, hey, I'll take care of this, you take care of that. Ain't nothing wrong with it. And that is how we've gotten pretty much ahead by cooperating as a team and as a unit when you're dealing with the opposite sex. You have to be a unit. You have to be a team. But damn, that sucks. Because yeah, that sucks. The reason it sucks, the other day I was talking to somebody basically on how much overall, the salary of someone with a bachelor's actually compared to someone with a trade. And now I will say this. I haven't specialized yet. I'm probably just like a general welder. I can stick weld, I can MIG weld, I can do a little TIG welding, and flux core. That's just the offshoot of MIG welding. But I had never specialized on whether I do stainless or whether I do, I weld stick, but I specialize on heavy wall pipe for like gas or petroleum use, or just heavy equipment repair, really. Sometimes they need hard facing for some of those skids and lifts and arms. Sometimes they need it.
This decline in earnings led to a 44% growth in the exit rate of men without a college degree from the workforce between 1980 and 2019.
I think, honestly, status plays more of a role than wages. As I said before, you had a manufacturing job. It was respected. You were part of a community, breadwinner for your family. You had organizations like unions or Rotary clubs that surrounded your job. And that's gone.
In general, men without children are also less likely to participate in the workforce compared to men with children, especially men without education or training after high school.
What we have seen is a huge rise in the proportion of prime-age men who've never been married, and a very, very significant decline in the proportion who are currently married and have kids at home. And those two trends track closely with the big changes that we've seen about male attachment in the labor force. Correlation isn't always causation, but looking at that correspondence is real important, I think.
Meanwhile, 57% of the roughly 10% of men not looking for work said their physical or mental health was the main reason for not being employed.
Oh. Yeah. There it is. Shit, it's already 10:36. Yeah. Well, guys, I hate to end the stream on a cliffhanger, but I'll be back for part 2. Probably for part 2, I'm gonna see if I can have someone join me. But this is what I was speaking about earlier. You got some guys out there ain't working, and that's because they can't, just physically or mentally in the head. They all messed up because who knows what? Probably got one too many hits to the head. The hard hat wasn't functioning properly or something. A piece of rock just hit him upside the head. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in with me. We'll be back tomorrow night for part 2. Peace, love, happiness. Gotta stay out of trouble now.